didn't get a chance to talk about this fight like I wanted to last week. I was sick. What's going on? Good evening. 6 p.m. Well, 6:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. July the 5th, 2022. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So we're going to be here for about an hour or so. But the main three topics of the show, I didn't get a chance to talk about Canelo Golovkin 3 like I wanted to last week because I was sick. I had a stomach bug. I had to go to the ER, all that crap. It was horrible. We got to talk about the fights of the week, the potential career match with Derek Chisora versus Kubrat Pulev 2. It may not be a fight that anyone asked for, but I think it's going to be fun. And then we got to talk about that magnificent Showtime card with Mark Magsayo taking on Rey Vargas, Gary Antoine Russell taking on Rancis Barthélemy. And then you have Frank Martin on the card, and you have the PBC debut of Rashidi Ellis. So welcome. Oh, and also this weekend, we have Magomed Kurbanov versus Patrick Teixeira. So yeah, it's a lot going on. But first, let's start here. How have you guys been? And how do you feel, and I'm going to be asking this question through the course of the stream, how do you feel about a streaming schedule? And I put it down below in the description box, which none of you guys read. By the way, if you're here, it'd be great if you can drop a like. We're not doing this, for our health here. But a stream on Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to about 7 p.m. or so. Thursday, 6 p.m. to about 7 p.m., 7:30. And Friday, 6 p.m. until about 7:30. Now, the reason why is because most of the final press conferences happen on Thursdays, unless the fight's on the Friday. But what I want to do is, if there's multiple press conferences throughout the day, for example, if there's a UK press conference, which my time will be anywhere between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. or so. And then if you have an American press conference between anywhere from noon to about 5 p.m., that way at the end of the day, we can recap them. How about that sound? And then on the weekends, I'll be streaming during the main events and maybe some co-features. So for example, this weekend, I'm going to be streaming during the main event of Derek Chisora versus Kubrat Pulev, and then also doing my post-fight video. And later on in the night, I'm going to be streaming during Mark Magsayo versus Rey Vargas and doing my post-fight video. And then, depending on how big the fight is, I'll do a post-fight show, which will go to about, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But that's pretty much the plans. So I've got a podcast launching. Also, I did something for you guys that I've never done before, and I've been keeping up with weekly. But if you guys actually read the description box, you'll see down below I put the boxing schedule. So I put it by network too. So go down there and click it right now. If you're on your phone, what you got to do, is click it. If you're on your PC or whatever, maybe not on your TV, you can't do it. But I put the boxing schedule down there and I sorted it by networks. Then on my website, let's just get this all out the way. On the website, FightView360. Damn it, I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm going to put it in the chat. How about that? I'm going to put it all in the chat. Here you are. The website has the rankings. They're updated monthly in accordance with the sanctioning bodies. Damn it, I used too many words. Hold on. Give me a minute. Boom. And then my social media platforms are down below. So listen, let's talk about it. I was thinking about it earlier. I was sitting here and I was vaping away, watching old Sopranos episodes. And I was thinking like, yo, I can't find a way that Golovkin beats Canelo unless he just punches him right in the face and knocks him out. I sat here and I covered and streamed that Ryoto Murata fight. And even though he ended up getting a stoppage, he ain't look good at the beginning. And I'm wondering what's going to happen when he get punched in the stomach. I don't think that Golovkin can deal with the body work that Canelo was dishing out, especially at 168 pounds. And what Golovkin has not been doing is he's not known for being like a body puncher guy. For Canelo, he's got to try to slow him down because remember the second fight, in my opinion, the second fight, Canelo won. Canelo stood his ground. He wasn't allowing Golovkin to back him up, and he was outboxing him. But I keep going back to that Sergey Derevyanchenko fight. I keep thinking about how Golovkin was in duress. He was in pain. That elbow dropped. He ran, backed up into the referee. The referee kind of let him off the hook. I don't know if that body, Golovkin can take that. Now, I understand what people are saying. It's like they'll say stuff like, well, Golovkin is not, yeah, can I say something? Don't he look like artificial intelligence now? Is it just me? Like the man forgot how to speak English. Like, does he look here with us? I was noticing during the press tour, it's like, what is up with dude? Like he metaverse. But anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh, people say Golovkin looks old. I mean, in my opinion, in this day and age of boxing, 40 is not old. They mean you're long in the tooth. They mean you're seasoned. That means you're in your twilight. But I consider that's not really old to me anymore. But he's getting there. And he's not a guy that's necessarily fleet of foot. So if he's going to beat Canelo, is he going to outbox him like Bivol did? I don't know, man. I'm thinking that Golovkin's going to need, one shot. Like he's going to have to outwill Canelo, go right for him and try to knock him out. Trying to outbox this Canelo, even though he lost to Bivol, I don't think he can do it. But the fight's going to be on September the 17th in the T-Mobile Arena. I think that was already pretty much here. Do I have the it's pulled up? T-Mobile Arena. It's going to be for Canelo's titles, undisputed. Remember, Golovkin has only had one fight, if I'm correct, where he actually weighed over the 160-pound limit. And that was recently when he fought, who was that? No. Okay, so Golovkin is... his whole career, he's been a 160-pounder. Look, you know how certain fighters or some fighters would start their career, for example, if they're 160, they may start at like 178 or something and, didn't settle in at 160, or a guy usually is trying to move up or ends up at 160 or something like that. But look, even his first fight, 159 and, 3/4, 160s, he had a fight right here where he weighed 2 fights, 161. And then, that reign at 160 pounds. But it wasn't until, let's see here, Steve Rolls, where that fight was at 164, right? So he's moving up to the full 168-pound limit. And Golovkin doesn't look like the type of guy that really walks around at, too much bigger than what he weighs in at. So I don't know. I have, I have some concerns. I have some concerns. I know a lot of people are going to try to write Canelo off because he lost to Dimitri Bivol. But Dimitri Bivol, my prediction was that Dimitri Bivol was going to beat Canelo and he was going to outbox him, and he did. I would pick Dimitri Bivol if they fought at 175 to beat Golovkin. You see what I'm saying? Styles make fights. But if Golovkin beats Canelo, how does he beat him? Does he outbox him? Remember, those first 2 fights were extremely close. Extremely close. No matter how you had it, they were close. Meaning no matter who you had winning, they were close fights. So I don't know, cuz I got Golovkin. Oh man, I done jinxed it. I got Canelo winning. Look at this resume of Canelo: 57-2-2, 39 KOs, 31 years old. Dimitri Bivol, Caleb Plant. I'm going to say right now, I never rated Caleb Plant highly. Billy Joe Saunders, Avni Yildirim, ill. Colin Smith, Sergey Kovalev, Danny Jacobs, Rocky Fielding, and the 2 Golovkin fights. And Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he just was there to make weight. That really pissed me off. I'll never forget the shenanigans Miguel Cotto and Canelo pulled to not fight Golovkin until Canelo eventually fought him. You know, first he wasn't big enough for 160 pounds, but then all of a sudden he fought Chavez Jr. at 164.5. You know, Miguel Cotto run at 160. You know, anything for my, you know, this is going to rub some people the wrong way, but anything over 147 for me, for Cotto, was all smoke and mirrors, including his run at 154 pounds. But as far as his run at 160, come on, bro. Fat Daniel Gill and one-legged Sergio Martinez, who is ranked very highly by the WBA at 160, by the way. That's some bullshit. Amir Khan at Canelo weight. We pretty much knew how that was going to go. Amir Khan was going to have some success outboxing Canelo, which he did, and then eventually he ended up going to sleep. But it's hard to believe that by the time they step into the ring, that second Golovkin fight, Canelo-Golovkin fight, was 4 years ago. By the time they step into the ring, September the 17th. And it's going to be on the DAZN pay-per-view. So how it works is, if you buy through your cable subscriber, it's going to be $79.99. Like if you buy it through Comcast, Xfinity, you know, the dish, whatever it is. But if you buy it through the DAZN and you already have a DAZN subscription, then it's going to be $59.99. Now, me, I don't trust the DAZN. You know, I purchased Canelo Bevo through my Verizon Fios. You know, so I know it's there on my DVR. I don't trust the DAZN. I don't trust them. After they pulled that shenanigans back during COVID, where they was like taking everybody money and shit, you know, and not showing no fights. The undercard, so far all we know is that Mark Castro is going to be on undercard. Pay-per-view buy prediction. I'm going to say that pay-per-view buys. Now, it was said that Canelo Bevo did 130,000 pay-per-view buys only through cable and the dish. That's not counting the DAZN. Rumors are that, let me pull it up and see if Dan Rafael had it on, because I believe who had the numbers were him. What was supposed to be the overall numbers, if you can help me out in the chat, for Canelo versus Bevo? Was it like 575 or something? Dan Rafael, you got a search bar here somewhere? Archive. Let me see if I can search. Top. Let me just see if I can do a Google search. Canelo Bevo buys. Around 700K. I forgot what the numbers they said it was. Around, according to Dan Rafael, he had 550,000. And a 520 to 550, you know, around 600,000 or so. So if Canelo versus Bevo can do that, I think it's safe to say that Canelo alone is going to bring what? What can Canelo alone bring? 400,000 fighting anyone? Or 500,000 fighting anyone? I think that fighting anybody, he can bring 400,000 pay-per-view buys just off him being Canelo. Now remember, Caleb Plant was supposed to have did 800,000. That was for Undisputed, and it was being heavily pushed by Showtime. You know, Showtime is #1 on the pay-per-view scene right now. Too many of them, but still quality #1. So if Canelo Bevo did anywhere between let's say 500 to 600,000 pay-per-view buys. Let's just say that. You know, okay, 550 to 700,000, whatever. You would think that Canelo Golovkin 3 would do at least 700, right? 700,000 for Canelo Golovkin 3, right? 650. The last fight did 1.1 million pay-per-view buys. That was over on HBO. I believe the first fight did around like 1.3, something like that. But in this day and age, it's different, and it's a third fight. But I guess you can kind of consider it somewhat of a really, really career-defining fight, or even a career-ending fight for Golovkin. Because if he loses, the boogeyman effect going to be all gone with him. It kind of is. So, but Canelo, if he loses, he'll be coming off. He'll be going on 2 back-to-back losses. One the Bivol, who he's saying he's going to rematch. But then Golovkin, if he loses to Golovkin, what are people going to say? Oh, you lost the first 2 fights too. We knew that he beat you. So the fight does, like, it is meaningful in my opinion. You know, the rubber match is meaningful. So for people who are saying, oh, they're not going to watch it, don't want to see it, you guys know how that goes. You know, they're going to be here. We're going to be watching the fight. You know I'm going to be here streaming, you know, during the fight. They did a press tour last week, by the way, over a course of a week and a half. Not a week and a half, about 7 days or so. They did one in LA first. And then this is the one from New York. Canelo was pretty irritated because basically he was saying, you know, this guy is you know, a scumbag or whatever. He'll talk all this shit on social media, but I'm right here. Say that shit to my face. That's pretty much what Canelo was saying. Let's go watch the face-off, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Once again, thanks for watching. We're going to be back on Thursday after the Chisora, Pulev, and Magsayo, Rey Vargas press conferences to talk about the event of the day and whatever news is going on. So once again, this fight's going to be on the Zone globally. I wonder if they're going to do the Zone pay-per-view over in the UK for this too. I wouldn't put it past them. Also, the links to my social media, there's a link tree link down below in the description box for those who want to follow me on the app. Yeah, man, Golovkin looks artificial intelligence. Like something, he just looked different. You know, like, I don't know, very robotic. Very robotic. I understand why he's saying he don't speak English no more, even though I'm still going to say he went Hollywood on us. Basically, everything was getting lost in translation. You know, so, and you know, sometimes, like, he say some crazy shit. Remember what he said to Gabriel Rosado? He's like, tell, you know, his family I come for him. Tell them go hide. Like some shit like that. He's a good boy. Tell his family I come for them.